Jeffa, question for you. If you were to build a car and you could make it however you want, would you make it after a model that's currently out there, or would you design something new? What would it look like? I'm looking forward to hearing.
Essentially, in short, it would be this: a Batmobile on the outside and a living room on the inside. Okay, Steve, here's my question for you. What are some things to look for when buying a used car?
Hello?
In my opinion, there are 4 things you want to consider. The first is price. The second thing is the exterior. The third thing is the interior. And the last thing is the mechanicals.
James, my question for you is, what are your thoughts on driverless cars?
In America alone last year, 2018 that is, nearly 40,000 people died in car crashes. If autonomous car vehicle makers can create a car that performs better autonomously than what we can do as humans, I think that they have a great future for them. Just to finish up, I want to ask a quick question to my guys.
So, James' question at the end of his video.
What is something that you feel like you grew in because of this challenge? Maybe, Steve, it was your camera skills, getting that BMW back left and right. For me, it was critical thinking. I don't know. Did I really have to think? I'm just kind of winging it. But I'd love to hear y'all's answers. Looking forward to talking to you then.
Good question. Dang.
Yeah, I wonder who thought of that.
I think for me, watching my movie over again, it's really just like discombobulated and it doesn't feel organized at all. This is kind of after the fact because I didn't really learn it while doing it. Making videos requires way more effort than just getting a camera out and making it. I feel like if I came up with a better plan beforehand, maybe like a rough script or something, it would have been a lot better.
You just kind of like go for it? Did you just wing it?
I had the idea in my mind, like what I wanted to talk about and what I wanted to do. And then I just kind of went for it from there.
Yeah.
I think when you pull out a camera and you're on the receiving end of the lens, it's just way harder to think clearly and way harder to.
It is. I know exactly what you're meaning.
Yeah.
Man, Steve is just like a little bird spreading the word about
It's all
everything I
filled
do.
up over there.
Going up in the air.
Just gotta flap my wings, you know.
All right, Jeff, so what you got, brother?
To answer the question, I think what I learned being very specific in how to ask the question and and being specific in answering the question. Because I don't know, like, I guess my question was very broad and there's so many different avenues and it's not really setting up the next person for success. Like Steve, in your video, you had like 4 different large areas to review, and I don't know if you felt like any obligation to hit, in depth on all of those areas, but, you hit like interior, exterior, the mechanical, I'm forgetting the 4th one.
Price.
Price. Yeah. Like, having to talk about all 4 of those rather than just asking a more specific question. So that way, maybe you didn't feel obligated to go over every single one of those. And then for answering the question, Eli, you had asked, what kind of car would I build? Yeah, like I had difficulty trying to answer that question because I was trying to be I was trying to go down all these different paths rather than just kind of pinpoint. So I ended up cutting a lot of footage because I wanted it to be, simple, but I didn't feel like I was very exhaustive, I guess, in my response.
Yeah, that makes sense. I was also thinking that there's a bit of a different type of video. Like you did more of a imagination sort of video, I guess, and versus Steve's, which is more like how to, I guess, a little bit more or detail specific. And so I wonder if that affects like how long the video could be. Because if someone has a problem, right, and you have a 1 hour long video, which is ridiculously long for YouTube, but if that video would actually solve your problem and you expect it to solve your problem, you would still watch the whole thing, right? Whereas if it's more of a entertainment slash imagination like your video, I wonder if it would be harder to have it be that long to actually hold people's attention.
That's a good point. That might be why your unicycle video has done so well, in part, you know? It's offering a service, like, to solve somebody's problem, to achieve something, kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Same as Steve's.
Yeah, it's more of a service than just entertainment.
Right. It's more of a service. Whereas you're right, Jeff is more of a imagination, like entertainment, and mine's probably more of a thought experiment than anything else. So, yeah.
Yeah, yours is like a political debate almost, basically. You know? But like entertainment's not a bad type of video. You know, like a comedian video that's an hour long. People watch the whole thing because they're entertained the whole time. It's just, can you keep? It's like each of you had different audiences basically, and it's like each one needs different things to hold their attention.
I didn't get no fancy thumbnail.
Yeah,
Look at that.
sorry, Jeff.
I don't really know why I didn't. It just didn't happen for some reason. I could go back and put
Oh,
one.
thanks. No, moments passed.
What about you, James? What did you learn?
Thanks for asking, man. Ready? 2 things. So I totally did that cliche, turn on the camera. I've done stuff on the camera before, but like that, like explaining something, just kind of winging, like in a way winging it kind of a thing. Normally I do fine just talking to a person, but turning on I was like, I filmed for like 6 seconds and then I just totally stumbled over what I was talking about. What is going on? I told Annie that evening, I was like, Annie, I can't think anymore. I don't know what's wrong with me. And it was just because I was filming it for the first time, you know, just kind of just doing it. But then the second thing, so that was one. The second thing would be when I did film it. So I filmed the kind of a rough draft, but basically what I wanted to say is probably about 5 minutes long. And I watched it through and was just totally disappointed with myself. I could not believe how discombobulated it was. Like all these things like did not connect at all. There was no real main point. Stuff was backwards, all sorts of different things. I think it's because like in my mind, normally when I'm talking to somebody, it's like incredibly personalized. Like if I'm talking to Eli, I'm talking to Steve or Jeff, like I'm going to use references that they understand and refer back to things that we've done together or know, whatever it may be, right? Mm-hmm. But like talking to like the most general audience in the world, like totally unknown, whoever it may be, I just have no idea how can I effectively put this for everyone. So yeah, props to the people who do that well.
James, your video somehow got more likes than everyone else, even though you have like 1/3 of the views.
That's pretty
How does that make sense?
Pretty faith.
I think it's just smile.
Because the people that viewed it wanted to like it.
Yeah. I there's this app where you can like pay people in India to watch and like your videos. I wasn't gonna let y'all know, but now I feel badly. I don't want to look better, so I just want to let you know that it cost me $40, but you know what is money?
You did not.
Well, you still only have 20 views, man. $2 per view.
$2 a view.
Got ripped off.
But I think that most of what I've grown in is 2 things. I think one, coordinating with you guys and making sure that the schedule works and that you guys have clear communication from me about like what I expect, I guess, and timetable, and making sure you have the information at the beginning to understand what the month is about, basically like team leadership. The second thing was when I got you guys' video, I was tempted to do like a ton of editing to it, like putting in stuff and putting sound effects and things like that. But I decided not to because I realized that I wanted to let the audience or people who watch the videos experience your flavor, if that makes sense. I decided that I didn't want it all to have to be exactly how I want it, because maybe the way you guys do it is even more enjoyable to the audience than the way I would have done it. Part of what I want Growth Mindset to be about is more than just me. And so I'm realizing that I kind of want each person to have their own flavor to their videos and not be as much of a control freak, I guess, about making it how I would make it. So I think those are the two things I learned.
Steve, how long did it take you to edit that video? Just that intro part with the
I don't know, maybe 3-4 hours.
man, it showed. You did a good job, dude. Well done.
I think that pretty much wraps it up, guys. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll catch you next time.
That's perfect. Done.
Whoa, that.
Good job, Steve. Thank you for you took matters into your own hands. A pioneer.
The problem was it lagged a little bit while you said it. Can you do it again?
Oh.
What?
It lagged a little bit while you said it. Can you do it again?
It didn't lag. He's pulling your leg, man. It didn't lag.
Actually,
What happened?
He's gonna have you going like this all night. just tell him deal with it. Tell him to edit it.
okay. I mean, I can also add in like myself if I need to or whatever at the end. But
No, I'm kidding, Steve. You can do it again.
Oh, it lagged. I don't know what you guys said. What happened?
Oh, you gotta do the outro again, bro.
All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us today. It's been a fantastic time, and we'll catch you next time.
I love that at the end. That sign off. It's like you were gonna go at the point, but you're like, nah. And then you're like, it's kind of pointing up in the general.